If you would have told me at the start of Scissor 7 that we would get this level of animation, action, and character development from what started out as a comedy Cartoon Network-esque anime, I would have actually laughed in your face.
Thank you. Now I have the opportunity to start a whole new life for myself. Just because I'm back doesn't mean I'm the same as I was before. So I'm starting to think maybe she wanted me to forget all about these grudges. Maybe she wanted me to start a new life.
You guys have been moving like that one medieval horse meme alerting me of the arrival of Scissor 7 season 5, and believe me, I heard you guys loud and clear. So let's cut the yapping and get straight into the meat and potatoes. Alright, just a quick recap of where we left off. 7 managed to pack up Evil Gojo, Iron Man and Ezekiel from Total Drama locked in and defended Chicken Island from Zodil, and that one guy from Bleach put up a solid fight against the leader of the Shadow Assassins, but sadly wasn't able to finish the job. So now we're up to date. We see that season 5 starts off with the Prestige homeless man and 7 chilling on Chicken Island. They are trying to expel the poison from his body and unlock his old memories of when he was Killer 7. He needs to break into the ship and find this door, so he gives him these smart glasses that lets them communicate. The ship is locked with a passcode, which is meant to be 7's real age, but since he has amnesia, it makes for this hilarious segment where 7 just keeps on getting boomed for guessing the wrong number. This is really how it feels to play certain levels in Mario Odyssey. They eventually guess correctly as it's revealed that 7 is 21. 7 would be getting called Unk in this current generation. He goes in, but the entire room is trapped with lasers. 7 tries to full send it, easily clearing it, but the main door he went through was just a pump fake. He restarts the save file and goes for another run when Cheap Life Hua tells him that the real door is the one on the floor and he can deactivate the lasers by pressing the start button. After pressing it, it does deactivate the lasers but begins releasing a poison gas, and the door on the floor has a puzzle on it. Like, what is this jigsaw contraption? He eventually cracks the code, but the poison has already started taking effect, leaving him looking like 11 from Stranger Things. He falls in and it looks like he fell into Ice King's castle. After some exploring, he gets jumped by this white wolf, barely dodging it. Death's cousin is tweaking out, and bro has a similar glitching effect to when 7 had the poison inside him in season 4. 7 continues to duck and weave, using Elden Ring iframes to perfectly roll all the charges. He whips out the scissors to distract the wolf, and honestly, it's kinda cute. He gets the idea to use the doggy to unlock the next level, so starts emoting, successfully rage baiting him. 7 lands on this broken bridge with a door that looks straight out of Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Matter of fact, this might be the door that Kagami had to open to enter the zone. He tries to clear the gap, but Cloak and Dagger pull up and go for the British greeting. 7 blocks it, but Roadman breathing. Second form. Why are you running, bruv? He has 7 on the back foot and begins to walk him down before asking whether 7 knows the reason why the door is locked and whether he really wants to open it. 7 tries to fight back with his scissors, but Cloak just parries both hits before flash stepping into rage and stabbing him in the chest. I really thought it was Raps, but 7 begins to glow and it's none other than Cheap Life Hua. I told you guys last season this guy wasn't your average homeless man. He gives 7 that Mantis life boost, strengthening all his base stats, but apparently only 7 will be able to hear the Cloak. The squabble commences and 7 scissors got that Midas touch. They continue to go blow for blow, and just when I thought he managed to land a hit, it just phased right through like Mirio. 7 realizing this charges up an attack, but it was a diversion all along as he takes Cloak's blade. He continues his combo, stabbing him in the chest, but we see a bunch of people, presumably from 7's past, reflected in his face. Cheap Life Hua glides in like Aoi Todo, giving 7 the stat boost they need, completely overpowering him. And with his final words, he gives a warning to 7 that only if he forgets his old life, he will be able to start a new one. Damn. 7 takes the sword and walks towards the door, unlocking it, and tell me this doesn't look like when Edward pulled up on Truth. He begins to open a door, and inside is his past self, Killer 7. He starts to walk towards him, eventually phasing back into 7, when we instantly teleport back to 7 and Cheap Life Hua, butt booty naked by the way, back in Superpower Country. Okay, wait, does this then mean that they were actually inside 7's consciousness? Because if so, then isn't this kinda like how Ichigo in early Bleach always spoke to like Zangetsu? Someone is gonna have to explain this one to me in the comments. 7 still seems to be his old usual goofy self for the most part, but he still can't remember any of his old memories, even though the poison should be out of his system. On the other hand though, he regains some of his lost skills. After some testing, they come to the conclusion that to remember all his old memories, he will need outside stimulation and interact with people or things from his past. This spaceship pulls up and it's the people from Stan, who we learned from last season kidnap children on Superpower Country to conduct experiments. Cheap Life Hua offers himself up to be taken taken instead, but they specifically want young children. Hey bruh, first the Prince of Stan with Cola, and now his subordinates too. What you guys got going on that island, bro? He tries to snatch Victor from Arcane, so the kid tries to save her, and without a second's hesitation, with a smile on his face, he tries to beam him off the map. Luckily, Seven locks in, and he gets some type of flashback that tells him all people from Stan are his enemies, before he genuinely perception blitzes both of them, cutting his arm off. Damn. Mind you, Seven made no type of jokes during this interaction. This is the equivalent to Spidey not making any small talk during a fight. Off topic, but why did Cheap Life Hua pull a Kobe Bryant fadeaway free? Look at the way he grabbed his dome. Seven continues the assault, and I thought he stopped on his own, but it was Cheap Life Hua who stepped in and tells him that he shouldn't kill them because they will just come back to hurt more people from Superpower Country. Cheap Life Hua, you couldn't fool me. I was familiar with your game. Roll the clip. I knew he was gonna be tough. My aura scouter was over 9,000. The people from Stan run into their ship and try to bomb Seven and Cheap Life Hua. They both tanked it though, and Seven just turns their ship into straight sashimi, but once again Cheap Life Hua saves them. He realizes that he saved the reincarnation of King Von, so decides to take the ISO. He dives in with a heavy step, sending Seven back. Seven closes the distance, and blocking a sword with nothing but your forearm is crazy. He might have armament hockey. They start going hit for hit when he uses Dragon Claw to stop Seven's blade, but he uses his ability to land a hit. Cheap Life Hua keeps up the pressure with a delayed slipper technique. This is really the type of move immigrant parents could hit in their prime. He starts using leg kicks like Prime Sanji, putting Seven on the back foot before launching him in the air. Seven uses the 1000 Demon Dagger to land another hit as they once again clash. He guides away the shots and redirects them, bringing them to a standstill. Damn, what even is the Scissor Seven power system? This man displayed super speed, super strength, flight, telekinesis, shapeshifting, metal bending, and used Sengoku's Devil Fruit all in one fight. Cheap Life Hua is easily keeping up with Seven and lectures him about the importance of controlling his power before pulling some Dragon Warrior Isaac Netero move, but right before he can even use his ultimate, Seven passes out. I was already intrigued by him, but now he might low-key become one of my favorite characters in the show. After Seven wakes up, Cheap Life Hua explains that the weapon Seven is using is basically like Enma and can suck up his chi, which leaves permanent damage. He recommends that he only uses it when absolutely necessary because otherwise he may die. He helps Seven and Dai Bo get back to Shenwu so they can continue looking for 13. We end up cutting back to Chicken Island where we found out that Red Tooth is still there, farming aura like Prime Piccolo. Turns out that during his fight with White Fox, the Shaitan he made a deal with tried to take over his body, but when he started fighting back, it tried to take over White Fox instead, who ended up destroying it, freeing him from the Red Tooth curse. Alhamdulillah. He could have just recited Ayatul Kursi though. Even though he's freed from the Blood Demon, it means he will lose a bunch of his strength, so White Fox should be able to easily defeat him.
How do you plan to fight without the Blood Demon's power?
Woo! Feeling good!
Hey, shout out to the Sonic cosplayers, they low-key put in work. He tries to destroy them when these guys from Stan seal bro away like Satoru Gojo before leaving the island. I feel like we'll definitely see him again in season 6. We know that Red Tooth and Granny were lovers but unable to be together, so Red Tooth wants to find out how his true love spent the latter few years of her life on Chicken Island. He joins the committee and becomes their new chairman. He delivers speeches to the youth, serves the elderly, solves marriage disputes, and goes on nighttime patrols. It ends with him seeing that Granny opened a shop named after him or something like that. It's honestly a really wholesome scene, and I just love the character development we got from Red Tooth since he's an OG in the show. We end up going back to Seven and Dai Bo, who are using the flying sword as a form of public transport, and I just love when anime gets creative with little things like this. Whilst on the bus, sword, the thumbs up guy who saved Seven in season 4 joins them, but he wants to have a squabble with Seven because Killer 7 was the one who killed his master. Seven wants to delay the squabble cause you know, they are flying on a sword, but Jack from Kicking It isn't trying to do all that talking and launches a swift 5-piece combo. Seven evades the hits and continues to dodge and weave. The funniest part of this whole scene is how the sword driver couldn't care less because he sees people fighting on swords every single day, and he's right. If you go on any form of public transport past 8 PM, you're bound to see some tomfoolery. Zon keeps trying to fight Seven, but Seven is barely even trying and is still dodging most of his hits. Zon actually lands a hit and Seven finally decides to lock in. He gets a flashback of when he fought Zon's master, which unlocks another core memory as bro straight up copies the technique and lands a thumbs up hit. Seven continues to use the thumbs thumbs up technique when we see that when Zahn was fighting the Earthbender, he told him that his master was a traitor protecting a scientist from Stan. The thumbs up technique relies on your opponent attacking, so if your opponent doesn't attack, then you don't have to attack either. His master told the assassins that not all people from Stan are bad people, and not all people from Shenwu are good people. And honestly, this mentality goes a long way if you apply it to real life. Stuff like racism and discrimination based on superficial factors like skin color and race would cease to exist. But that's a rather far-fetched dream of mine that will likely never come true. What did Payne say? There's just too much hate in the world. Since the Hall of Fame instigator redirected Zahn's anger towards Seven, he stops using thumbs up and makes a fist, sucking Seven in the stomach. This causes them to crash into another sword, and we get this amazing mid-air fight scene. They are going band for band when Zahn hits Seven with a brawlhalla stage out combo. I thought Seven got cooked, but when Zahn turns around, he sees that Seven wasn't actually focused on fighting, but he was trying to save all the people who fell down the sword. W mans. Zahn finally calms down and they squash the beef. Sensational. I love the fourth in arc 7 is on right now. Dai Bo and 7 continue their search for Miss 13 when they go into this tavern where they find out that both 7 and 13 are actually wanted. The bounty hunters in the bar start moving like pre-Straw Hat Zorro and try to catch 7 lacking. Luckily the musician 7 paid for earlier helps him out, and tell me this doesn't look absolutely beautiful, bruh. This shot looks like a blood demon art from Demon Slayer. I just love the art direction for this season. Turns out this is actually Meowkai's mentor from season 1, so he begins using his music genjutsu, putting them in a high school slice of life montage, and tell me why I would low-key watch this as an OVA. Anyways, after saving 7 and Dai Bo, he takes them to Plum Blossom Mountain Villa where Miss 13 was rumored to be hiding away. 7 is all excited and nervous because he feels like he's going to visit his girl's crib for the first time. After climbing the Jade Palace stairs, they walk through the front door and spot none other than 13's sister 11 and Da-Chun, who has a grandpa in a full Nelson. Da-Chun could really have 11 if he wanted to. I'm so invested in their oddly romantic love story. 5 days ago, 11 came back to Plum Blossom to take back something that belongs to her and hired Da-Chun to help her. They walk in and there's this old man guarding the villa since the master is away. He tries to take her out with some rocks, but Da-Chun is locked in. Gramps is kinda tough with it though and keeps up the pressure. Da-Chun and 11 decide to hit bro with a JJK classic. This is real couple goals. I know for a fact Da-Chun posted this one on the gram talking about some call me Mike the way I care for my 11. Da-Chun goes in with the overhand when 11 follows up with the drop kick. He keeps up the pressure, allowing her to spam aerial attacks. And I'm not gonna lie though, Gramps' defense is immaculate, wielding that broom like Donatello. He spin kicks Da-Chun and starts spamming ki blast like Vegeta. 11 is distracting him, allowing Da-Chun to get back into close quarters combat. They continue to go bar for bar when 11 grabs Da-Chun, flinging him into the old man. Who are they feeding like Johnny Storm and the Thing? Gramps still managed to dodge though and hits Da-Chun with an eye poke before using his ultimate on 11, pinning it to the floor with the broom. Da-Chun, realizing they are low-key getting reverse jump sets effort, and pops his ult, the solid as gold 7-day lock, which is quite literally a 7-day full Nelson chokehold. This move still makes me laugh to this day. Miss 11 tries to run into the house, but bro whips out some type of Wonder Woman robe that can't be cut and slowly drains your energy. I guess we can call it a stalemate, but in all reality, Gramps low-key won that. So when we cut back to the present day, they are 5 days into the 7-day headlock. 7 and Dai Bo want to help 11 since she's 13's sister, but they end up getting caught too. A few days go by and the master comes back, and right behind him is none other than Miss 13. We finally get the long-awaited reunion. They were starting to make really good progress in season 4, so I can't wait.
Is this a friend of yours?
He is not.
Jiggle a bang, fuck a time, wibble a doogie. Suck it a bang, suck it a gang, fuck it a doogie. Zip it a bang, zip it a dang, jiggle a doogie. Fuck it bang bang to get, suck it bang bang to get.
Damn, I mean I get it, she's basically in mourning, but come on, you guys went through life and death experience together. He saved your life. You ain't need to give him the cold shoulder like that. We get a flashback of a young 13 and we see that this old guy was actually her dad and taught her how to fight. After Green Phoenix had his battle with the leader of the Shadow Assassins, he sends her back to him to master the technique that can one-shot almost anyone. The new master is teaching some other kid, but he spots her in the forest and eyes bend some shards towards her. She tries to close the distance, but this might be the real life Paku. What is this power system? She tries to land a sneak attack, but Silver Fang from One Punch Man just flash steps away. She continues her attack and this guy damn near pulls an Aizen and just absorbs the blow. She tries to keep up with the pressure, but bro grabs a tree branch and begins actually putting belt to ass. This is how them Zelda Breath of the Wild speedrunners will beat the brakes of Ganon with nothing but a stick. He mocks her for barely having improved after 7 years, so she tries to use the Green Phoenix technique, and the way the animation formation swapped, I would have thought she cooked, but she just ends up only breaking his stick, which still makes him praise her. How strong is this man for him to claim that this is praiseworthy? We might be dealing with a Hashirama level threat right here. He does decide to teach her the technique. When 13 uses it, it's this powerful obliterating blast, but when her dad shows her the proper form, bro glides and lands a precision strike with all power struck into one area. She takes his advice before aura farming and leaving. She decides to dip because assassins showed up looking for her bounty and she didn't want to cause trouble for her dad, which I guess is fair enough, but call me crazy if you want. Her dad might be the strongest person in the verse right now. I'm pretty sure they can handle them easily. After leaving the villa, she gets jumped by Gyomei and that one fire arrow Skylander from Skylanders Giants. She easily makes short work of the first one and walks towards the others when this living Beyblade comes from the top rope trying to land a sneak attack. It turns into a 3v1, and this is really how it feels to walk through any area in Elden Ring, just getting jumped left, right and center by all sorts of abominations. She jumps into the air and pierces this guy's heart, but ends up getting clipped by Sadako when it just cuts over to the leader of the Shadow Assassins spawning in another one of them killer butts. And look how many of them he has. I know what you are.
You's a freaky ass.
He sends Psylocke and the Earthbender to set a trap for 13 and catch her to make sure that she doesn't learn Phoenix's technique. Alongside them, he sends this new guy called 9. He's supposed to be an upgraded version of 7 and has insane levels of speed. We cut back over to 7, Dai Bo and Dai Chun, who have been trapped by Gramps. 7 frees them using the Thousand Demon Dagger, and turns out that Gramps actually knows 7 and tried to assassinate him in the past. When 7 was still Killer 7, he created a trap to try and capture him, but 7 escaped and remembered his face, so he had to change his entire identity. Damn, imagine being so shook to the core that you change your height from 6'4" to 5'2" just to avoid getting caught lacking by the ops. He wants a rematch, so captures Dai Bo. He tells 7 that if he can capture Dai Bo and escape, he wins. He begins using the strings like Doflamingo and attempts to catch 7. 7 starts moving like Tanjiro versus Ruri, but Dai Bo swapped out 7's real sword to stop him from using it. He uses Dai Chun to free his scissors and ends up in the exact same position he was in last time they fought. Gramps studied tape though and traps him in a string cage, and just when it seemed like he was cooked, 7 diverts from his past self and ups to focus on saving Dai Bo, showing how much he's changed compared to Killer 7. Absolutely beautiful. They get ready to dip out when 7 hits him with this amazing one-liner and says that Gramps is too focused on the past and should look forward towards the future instead. 7 goes to chase after 13 and we get yet another cute character interaction between Dai Chun and 11. They really remind me of like Fubiki and Saitama. I don't know how to explain it. 7 and Dai Bo end up stumbling upon a graveyard where all the people from Shenwu are buried. When we run into the Chosen One, he tried to pack up 7 and 13 in season 4. 7 squares up, but seeing this gravesite seems to have awakened some of his old memories, so the monk decides to finally update us on some crucial lore. Shenwu was a nation focused on all kinds of martial arts, so they naturally saw the people of Stern as an enemy, because they were afraid that their technology would nullify all their martial arts, which I kinda understand. We are like 5 years away from AI taking over majority of the job market. When Shenwu saw the rate at which Stern was developing weapons, they started the Assassin's Training Program. Long story short, they basically ran some White Room experiments to create the perfect assassin, which was 7. Killer 7 was a certified demon, but after a while he stopped listening to the leader and started to build his own ideology. The leader of Shenwu was Loki scared of 7, so he used this girl to get close to 7 and have him fall in love with her. He then captured the girl and basically had her guarded by the national animal mascot, which 7 ended up killing, making him public enemy number 1. Everyone ended up hunting him down, but he continued to protect the girl, and when he was at his weakest point, she backed out her blade and stabbed 7 in the back. He used the last of his strength to throw himself into the river, which led to him losing his memories and end up on Chicken Island. This right here might be the greatest backdoor in anime history since Rachel from Tower of God. 7 seems to be completely enraged, and I thought he was about to start moving like Naruto versus Pain, but nah. He comes face to face with Killer 7 once again, but this time he hugs him, completely embracing his past and accepting himself for who he is. The monk was ready to start boxing, but 7 drops down and thanks the monk for showing him his old self. He goes on this beautiful speech and explains that just because he was someone bad in the past and did certain things doesn't mean he always has to be that way, and honestly, that's so beautiful. Everyone has some kind of skeletons in their closet. Everyone did something that they may not have been proud of or regretted in the past, but that doesn't mean that's who you are for the rest of eternity. Change starts from the moment you accept your flaws and choose to live a better life going forward. The past is unchangeable, so focus on the now. Be the best version of who you can be today and thread into the future one step at a time. Hey, as long as you guys like the hope core, I'ma keep it coming. 7 ends up inviting Baldy to Chicken Island to hang out sometime. They go their separate ways, and Dai Bo asks him why he doesn't bear any hatred towards those that wronged him, and 7 explains that he basically sees his memory loss as a blessing because it allowed him to start a new life. Hey, maybe this girl actually did 7 a favor this whole time. We got over to Miss 13 on a raft, and she's moving insane, putting straight hands on these demogorgons. She eventually comes face to face with Green Phoenix, and this fugazi Green Phoenix ties her up as the other assassins pull up. It was a setup this whole time. The redhead takes her mask off, and it's just this Hall of Fame troll 7 cosplaying as 13, out there moving like Link in that one Gerudo Desert side quest W plays. He takes care of the goons, but Toph Beifong pulls up and starts lobbing straight boulders. Apparently these rocks are the hardest rocks in Shenwu, so 7 is basically fighting bro in his domain. He continues to spam his rocks, but 7 locks in and pulls out the 1000 Demon Dagger. He starts applying full court pressure, so Cheer Men goes on the defensive. 7 starts charging up his scissors and begins to break through the rocks, or so I thought, because whole time it was this Beyblade protagonist who turned on friendly fire because he wanted a fair squabble with 7. Bro even gave him back his sword, and I'm not gonna lie, his fit is extremely tough. He aura walks to 7, but Dai Bo pulls a Rio and whips out the blicky just for it to get sliced right as he pulls the trigger. 7 goes in for the blow, but 9 is a real speed demon, using the cape as a distraction and landing a cut on the back. Zora would be disappointed. He continues to pressure, putting 7 on the back foot. 7 uses the 1000 Demon Daggers to create some space. He isn't impressed though and puts down his sword before dragon dashing towards 7 and disarming bro, turning his arm into straight fufu in the process. 9 takes the 1000 Demon Dagger and begins to wield it just like 7 since they train in the same spot.
Kiss me through the phone.
He copied my whole fucking flow!
Oh,
word for word,
shit.
bar for bar!
Oh,
Don't act like I—
This is low-key like when Homelander finally met Soldier Boy and the boys. He starts going for chip damage on 7 and he just isn't able to defend himself. 7 realizes that he needs his killer 7 strength but doesn't want to lose control like before, so we get this cool scene where he sees his young self that tells him that there are multiple ways to complete a puzzle, which gives him the Zenkai boost he needs. He wakes up and saves Dai Bo, and this time he's the one who's dodging all of 9's attacks without a weapon, and look at the animation and choreography. 7 realizes that 9's chi is being absorbed by the 1000 Demon Dagger, so uses Killua's Phantom Step before using the sheath of the katana to take back his sword and instantly launch a counter attack to the gut. In all my years of watching anime, I ain't never seen nothing like this. 9 has taken serious damage and summons his own blade back. Bro releases all its nen and goes for a head-on strike, so 7 deflects it, but 9 follows up, knocking away his blade and grabbing 7 by his broken arm. He combines the 1000 Demon Dagger with the thumbs up technique before also using Cheap Life Hua's delayed slipper hit and ending it off with 9's own move. 7 really out here moving like Kakashi the copy ninja. 9 still blocks it and lands a counter attack. It seems to be a battle of speed, but 7 still has his chi controlled scissors, which end up turning 9 into Satoru Gojo. Absolute cinema. Damn, this man is persistent. What even is his motivation? Bro might genuinely just be in it for the love of the game. The person who created 7 also created 9, but because 7 disobeyed the leader, he ordered him to make the next batch way stronger and more obedient. The Earthbender realizes that 9 has lost control and decides to seal both himself, 7, 9 and Dai Bo in the canyon. And just as he does that, 13 pulls up and uses the Green Phoenix technique to pierce a hole in the wall. And not gonna lie, this does not look like she mastered it. Damn, everyone is just showing up on some endgame timing. The leader of Shenwu pulls up on 13 to try and put an end to the Green Phoenix ultimate, and just like that, it ends on a cliffhanger of doom and despair. I need more. I need season 6 right now today. Give it to me. Give it to me. And hey, before we end the video, I just want to give a personal thank you to, of course, you guys for like the how the year has gone so far, and to the Scissor 7 team. As you all know, I've been watching Scissor 7 ever since I was in high school, so you already know I was flabbergasted when I see an email from the Scissor 7 team in my inbox one morning saying that they have not only watched my videos but also want to give me some personal merch. Like, I was low-key getting emotional when I when I got that email, bro. Like, this is the first time we as a community have been recognized by any anime. Like, bro, look at the 1000 Demon Dagger. I'm literally 7 right now. I also got this cold umbrella that I've been using to aura from like Kisuke Urahara since, you know, it's always raining in the UK. And I got this giant Scissor 7 figure that I put right next to my plaque over there. Like I said, this is the first time we've been recognized by an actual anime, so you can see I'm hella excited. Anyways, I just wanted to give another big thank you to the Scissor 7 team, and specifically Ching for, you know, blessing your boy. I hope we get, you know, more collabs in the future. Hey, hey, I don't know, maybe I can be involved somehow, some way. You know, I'm sure you guys can, you know, give your boy like 1 or 2 lines in the show. Just like, you know, put me like in the background somewhere. Jokes aside though, make sure to check out Scissor Seven season 5 on Netflix. And if you want your own merch, just check out their website. But yeah, that's it from me. We are so close to 200k, so make sure you guys keep subscribing. YouTube thinks you'll like this video on screen next, so check it out. Peace.